All right. Hey, let's try another video solution. Here's chapter 18, number 9. And what does it say here? It says you are scuba diving below a fishing pier. You look up and you see a fishing pole that appears to be 2 meters above the surface. And I'll notice it says where appears to be. So that's where you think it is based upon the light getting to you. It says use a ray diagram to show that the pole is actually closer to the surface of the water. All right, so it, I guess would look something like this. Maybe I'll say here is the surface of the water. And of course, you're down here. So you're under the water. And the object is up above you. So the pole's sticking out, and so maybe here is the tip of the fishing pole. Let's just talk about the actual tip of it, because this does talk about the whole pole. Does it say it's horizontal? A fishing pole. You look up and see a fishing pole. Appears to be 2 meters. Okay. So I'm going to just take the fishing pole as being, held straight out from the pier. So maybe here is the deck of the pier, and here is the top of the pier, and the fish, is right. Well, not the fish, but the person fishing is right here. And anyways, there's a point on the pole that is 2 meters out. If the fishing pole was angled, then it may not be the whole pole at 2 meters. But anyways, let's just talk about this one point on the fishing pole. That's kind of what I want to focus my attention on here. And so remembering how we perceive depth, we have 2 eyes, and just for the sake of this discussion, our binocular vision, let me spread it out a little bit. I'm going to take one eye from the diver and put it over here, and another eye over here. And I'll just change colors to draw the ray. But the important thing is that the ray bends towards the normal. So a ray would come like this, hit the water, and this is, of course, our law of refraction, bend towards the normal, and get into one eye. Let me, call this the right eye. Okay, so that's the path of the light. Now, the other direction, the light would come here, bend towards, and do this. Okay? And it's this bending of the light and bending towards the normal that's the key to the problem, because your perception then would be the light just traveled in these straight lines. And so if I trace it back, maybe doing a different color still, your perception, right eye, left eye, would be back here. You would say, well, the light came from, and you would draw something back like that. And left eye would say, light came from, and you would draw something back like that. And so your perception would be the light is coming from right there. Now, go back to the question here. It says the fishing pole that appears. So this green spot is where it appears to come from. Here's where it really is. So this is the 2 meters. And our point of this exercise is to draw a ray diagram, which we just did. Using a ray diagram, show that the pole is actually closer. And so this distance here, would be something less than 2 meters. And how much less would depend on how much bending, and that's where we don't really have the math. We need some trigonometry for the law of refraction for us to figure this out. We do have that little graph in our chapter, but that's good enough for this level. And then when we get to our optics and physics 123, we'll actually calculate this in much greater detail and find out what this number is, not just say it's less than 2, but actually get a number. But hopefully that's good for this problem. All right, take care.